Hi there. In this video, I will describe how faculty can use the Respondus Lockdown Browser in their classroom to restrict a student's access to digital resources while taking online Canvas quizzes. The Canvas quizzing tool simplifies quiz management and grading, but online quizzes are vulnerable to academic dishonesty. In the modern era, it is easier than ever to cheat on online quizzes proctored in a classroom. Students can navigate away from a quiz by using additional browser tabs and windows. They can access eNotes through browser extensions and apps, or they can open documents or PDFs they have saved to their computer. And if it's not a proctored quiz, you might as well consider it to be open book. That doesn't have to be a problem with low-stakes homework that you assign using Canvas's quizzing tool, but for big exams it poses a much bigger issue. Respondus Lockdown Browser allows you to limit a computer's capabilities while a student is taking an exam. It is essentially a different web browser that students can download. If you apply lockdown browser settings to a quiz, students essentially cannot take the quiz unless they use the lockdown browser. They will not be able to navigate away from the administered quiz. They will not be able to open up new tabs or web pages or eNotes, and they cannot open documents or PDFs already saved to a computer. It also forces them to log out of any open computer programs before they take the quiz. Now, users can still cheat in the traditional way, reading from an open book or from their notes or from their smartphones or a separate device, but the lockdown browser makes it easier to manage a quiz or exam in a proctored classroom because the faculty member can watch out for this behavior. To enable Respondus Lockdown Browser on a Canvas quiz, first create or import the quiz as you normally would in Canvas. After you have finished, click on Lockdown Browser in Course Navigation. Once you click on the link, it may request authorization. If it does, grant it. And then you should see a list of all quizzes where you can apply Lockdown Browser. Select the quiz where you want it applied and click Modify Settings. Select the option to require the lockdown browser, and then select if you want students who have completed the quiz to only be able to see the answers with the lockdown browser. This option is available because the lockdown browser also restricts students from copying or printing directly from a web page. So students may be able to see the answers after completing the quiz, but they will be unable to take a screenshot or print them. Although, just to reiterate a warning, students can quickly take photographs of computer screens using their smartphones, so Lockdown Browser is primarily useful in a proctored environment. Now, we don't recommend applying any password restrictions to the quiz, because students already have to log into Canvas to access it, but there are other options as well to consider. Hover your mouse over each option to see what other tools can be used with the Lockdown Browser. One specific option we need to address: locking students into the browser until the exam is finished. By default, students can log out of a lockdown browser quiz. This will allow them to navigate to other web pages, check their eNotes, and use their computer however they like, after which they can log back in to continue taking the quiz. If you set a time limit for the quiz, that limit will continue ticking down. The quiz doesn't pause just because the student is logged out. But this is a way for students to get around the lockdown browser. Now, the browser will force them to give a reason why they are logging out, which will be sent to you directly. So you will be able to check if that student's reason is appropriate and whether they should be failed, because basically they have left a locked testing environment. However, with this toggle, you can make it impossible for them to leave the quiz or exam unless they have finished. But we only recommend doing this in a proctored environment because sometimes students have a genuine need to leave the quizzing environment for emergencies. Students will need to download and install Lockdown Browser on their own computers to use it in your classroom. It comes already installed in campus computer labs, so if you're holding an assessment in one of those labs, students should have access to it. However, in your own classroom, students will need to use the directions outlined here in Canvas Basics, which provide links to specific instructions for how to install and use Lockdown Browser on a laptop or personal computer. But again, there's always the possibility that there will be a technical issue, which is why it's a good idea to have a low-stakes practice or extra credit lockdown quiz so students can practice for exam day. A dry run like this can definitely ease a student's nerves because it helps them know what to expect so that they can focus on the content of the quiz, not on how they're going to take it. Now, Cite also has access to other Respondus tools that you can make use of in your classroom. Respondus 4.0 and Respondus Monitor. Respondus 4.0 allows users to import quizzes into Canvas as quiz banks, either downloads from publisher websites or properly formatted Word documents. Cite has access to the Respondus 4.0 licenses at Mount Ida, so contact us at cite@mountida.edu if you would like to import these kinds of documents into Canvas. Be sure to follow the exact format described at this link on Canvas Basics so that there are no problems when we import the document. Finally, we have a limited number of licenses for Respondus Monitor. Respondus Monitor is a tool that offers remote proctoring of online lockdown quizzes. To use Monitor, all of your students will need a webcam so that their progress can be monitored, collected, and analyzed to ensure they maintained focus on the quiz, did not leave their seats, and did not consistently look away to read notes or access other tools. If you would like to try Respondus Monitor in your classroom, contact Cite at cite@mountida.edu, and we will need to work with you to provide the option to use the monitor. As always, this technology would benefit from a dry run to ensure that students are able to access technology on campus or at home. We hope you have found this video helpful. Please contact Cite at cite@mountida.edu if you have any more questions. That's CITE@mountida.edu. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your classroom.